Welcome to Letters from America, a road trip podcast searching for the Swedish heritage within the United States. I have parked my Volvo in Sedona, Arizona, and with me in the Airstream is Ingrid Hagelberg, or Vismaya.
Both,
yeah.
But Ingrid is my Swedish name.
Yeah, you're born in southern Sweden, and I have read through your history, and I don't even know if we're going to fit everything in here. But you have been in Paris, you have been back to Sweden, you've been to Los Angeles, you started in jazz, you've been touring in Japan, you came back to America, and then you went to South Africa, and then you went to Poland and recorded an album, and then you went back to America, and now we're in Arizona.
Don't forget Germany.
In Germany. You toured Europe.
I lived in Germany 10 years.
10 years in Germany. I totally forgot that. I'm sorry.
I know.
I told you, it's going to be hard to fit everything in. So you are a musician at core. You play jazz music. I
sing.
You sing.
I'm a singer.
Jazz, cabaret,
even little pop.
A little bit of bossa nova.
A little bossa nova, little pop songs too. Yeah.
But if we should go through the pieces of all that in some sort of understandable way, in your own words, where would you like to start in this journey that you've done that led you here to Sedona?
Well, people often ask me, how long have you been singing? When did you start to sing? Well, I started to sing when I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
And that took place in Trelleborg,
in Sweden,
where I was born. Yeah. And I came from a musical family. And when I was 5 years old, I have a brother who is 3 years older.
Mm.
And he also sang. And we had a guest at home. She was a pianist, and so my brother sang, and she gave him a little coin, and then my parents said, "It's time to go to bed, children." Yeah, but I also want to sing.
When you were 5?
5 years old.
5 years old.
And Tante Elsa said, "Oh, let her sing." Yeah. So I sang, and then I got a big coin, and I was so happy that I took it with me in bed.
Yeah.
And I put it in my mouth because I wanted to taste my reward. And suddenly it got stuck in my throat. And they had to rush me off to the hospital because I almost, was gone. Yeah. But luckily, a nurse knew what to do. So, boom, it came out.
Yeah.
And so, next day I was even in the paper, they say, 5-year-old got a 5 öre coin stuck in her throat. But I survived. Yeah. So I say that was my first paid gig, and that's we can laugh now, but
okay, well that could have been but I'm happy that it went. But you mean
that was my
you even
start.
Remember this because you were 5? That's pretty young.
Yeah, but I remember it. I actually have a one-woman show, and I start to say that story. Anyway, that was the beginning of my musical career. Yeah. But and then, of course, I sang always, growing up. And I wanted to be a singer. And my mom said, "No, it's not for you. No. You're too sensitive." In those days in Sweden, nobody was encouraged.
Don't go into art.
No.
You're too sensitive.
Yes, too sensitive.
But you moved to Paris.
I went to Paris after school, girls' school, and I...
Quite young, moving to Paris.
18, 19. And I worked. I went to Sorbonne, and I worked in a family. The monsieur had been the ambassador for France in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of interesting.
That was interesting. Mm-hmm. But how did that start? Just going to,
going to Paris?
It's not enough to go to Paris. There has to be something.
My parents had a friend who was a painter in Paris, and he put in an ad, and the ad, and so that's how I... Yeah.
From what I understand, you were into... can we call it like cabaret music? Vaudeville, like Edith Piaf?
Edith Piaf, Charles Aznavour, all of the beautiful. Then I started to, love. I came home and sang for my dad's birthday party, La Bohème in French, and But I wasn't ready yet to take off to be a singer. No, I had to first, like most Swedes, go introverted. I became very inner. And it was difficult times in Sweden. It was very left. We were very against the Vietnam War and dreams about a singer. No. That was not going to happen.
No.
So, but my dream was constantly, but I want to sing. So I sang a little bit here and there. And after college, I went to teacher's college. I had promised myself that I was going to become a singer.
Okay.
I have a long story, and it's going to take too much time for you.
We have time.
We have time? Because when I was in college in Växjö, there was a concert in the theater with Greek music from Mikis Theodorakis. You remember?
Yeah,
Arias, Simon, and I was sitting there, and I was so taken, like, I realized, but this is what I want in my life. I want to be a singer. I want to be on stage.
Where are we in age now?
Age, finishing up 1974 something.
Okay.
And so I decided that evening, I wrote to myself in my diary, I will pursue my dreams of being a singer. I signed it and dated it, and I didn't tell anybody.
No.
And after I finished college, I went to Norway to go to a jazz festival. But I was very introverted, very shy, had no self-confidence whatsoever. So I didn't really stay, but on the train back, before going in Oslo, a little voice said, "Get off the train, you're not going to go back yet." So I got off. And next morning, I met an American guy traveling around, Europe. And so he convinced me to travel with him up to the fjords. And I started to sing, and I felt happy. And he said, "Wow, you're a good singer." And I said, "Well, that's my dream. I want to be a singer." And he said with his American positive energy, "Of course you have to follow your dreams." And that's how I came to America first time. With
can
him.
I ask with him? Oh yeah, with him.
Yeah, he brought me there.
So in a way, love brought you here.
In a way, love and music.
Love and music.
Because he convinced me to say, "Come on, go." And so I only had 1 month visa, but he brought me to jazz pianist, black guy who had seen everything, and he had me sing for him, and he said, "Honey, if you don't sing, it's gonna eat you up inside."
Yeah, well, he's right.
And he kind of saw me because I was so insecure. So that was an inspiration, and then I had to go home.
But what was that feeling like to meet that?
That was incredible.
That other side of
yes, and there was such an opening for me to come to Miami, first time in America, and people were so open. I came from Malmö, Sweden. It was not that you didn't talk to people that you didn't know.
No.
So there was really a big opening for me. And so after 1 month, I was supposed to go home, but we got married.
You did?
Yeah. But then I stayed for 1 year. I started to sing. I was even in acting, I think, in Denver. But after a year, I realized, no, America is too tough. Because it's tough.
It is.
It's
well, the business is tough also.
Are you kidding? It's crazy tough. Yeah. And so I decided, no, after a year, I'm going back to Malmö. I'm going to get into the acting schools, because I must have been acting. So I left and I said, "Goodbye, George. Goodbye, America. Back to Malmö." Well, I came back to Malmö and I was like, all my energy went down again. And after a few months, George came to Malmö to see if maybe, could work. And he stayed for a whole year, but he could feel with my energy that he said, "You got to get out of here."
Yeah.
He pushed me to get out. And now comes an interesting story, being Swedish. Because one evening I hadn't decided, shall I go? So I watched a documentary film about Vilhelm Moberg. And you know he lived in America for a while, and he lived in California. And they showed how he used to live in this little city in California, how he used to walk on the beach and the palm trees swaying, the sun shining. And it was winter in Malmö. I was sitting there. And then I just decided, that's it. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. And this time, nothing is going to stop me. I'm going to pursue my dreams. I will, be a singer. On and off, I worked as a teacher in Sedona, but no, I'm leaving. And so I left.
That's
how I ended up in Los Angeles.
You had your eyes on Los Angeles, but that's very interesting because you mentioned that you wanted to go home. It was too tough for you.
Yeah, it was too tough.
Yeah, but that's what happened when you get a feeling that you get homesick.
Yes.
You tend to forget the sort of energy you left.
Yes.
And you remember the good sides.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you sort of also go back in history of yourself.
Yes.
You sort of reverse to go back to the one you were.
I was, yeah.
So that's the collision that happens in my experience.
Yes, you totally
But in Los Angeles, if I understood it correctly, you also pursued acting a little bit more.
I did. But the interesting thing is when you decide to do something, it's like you talk to higher powers or whatever, and they say that once you really decide, synchronicity starts to happen.
Yeah.
You probably have you have the same thing.
That's how I met you.
That's how you met me. And so I arrived in Los Angeles. It didn't work out with George. He was there. I got my own little place. And after a few weeks, I needed to make money.
Yeah.
I got a job as a census taker. You know what it is?
It's like a questionnaire.
Every 4 years, everybody should fill out what they make, who they are, blah, blah, blah. That's how they count. And I got a pile of papers to walk to people who hadn't, the last push. So I got that
to
as
sort
a
of
job.
convince them to do it.
Convince them, yeah. So I got this pile of paper. And I remember it was somewhere in Hollywood. It was a nice area. It was not... And I said to myself, what am I doing here? Am I totally crazy? But then, no, okay. So I knocked on the first door. Out came this tall, handsome black man with a big smile. I said, could you please fill out this census? He said, okay, please come in. I come in. There was a grand piano, pictures on the wall with famous... He was a musician. Quite well known, actually, in the jazz world. Buddy Collette. And there's the first door. I mean,
you have to walk into it.
You have to, and it's been like that. I have been helped and supported in so many ways. So,
but how did that end? Because I know that you won an award for your acting, and that's a big leap from knocking on the door of a jazz pianist.
No, so then 1 year I was so determined. I mean, I was tough. It was tough, and I sold palm trees. Suddenly I got an agent who sent me off to Japan. So that was my first professional contract.
Yeah.
4 months I was in Japan. And then I came back, and I think that's when I went to Cape Town, South Africa. First time. I was there for a whole year. I recorded an album. And I was singing everywhere in townships. I met somebody.
But that's interesting. Why did you end up in South Africa?
My parents.
Oh, okay.
My brother has lived there for 50 years.
Because in my mind, you know, South Africa, is there a jazz scene in South Africa?
Oh, yes.
It is. Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a fascinating country. But in those days, it was just towards the end of the apartheid. And I met this incredible music promoter who knew all the musicians, black, white, you name it. And I was special. I was Swedish. So I got so many. I was singing everywhere. I had a wonderful time. And I recorded an album. But
you recorded an album in South Africa?
Cape Town.
In Cape Town.
Yeah, called Flying High with wonderful jazz musicians. But after 1 year, I went back to LA, and that's when I got this acting job.
Oh, yeah.
In this play called I Remember Mama.
I Remember Mama,
about a Norwegian family in San Francisco.
And that is about immigration in a way.
Yes, totally. And I remember I auditioned, and I asked the director, I said, would you like a Norwegian accent? And he said, yes. And for us, Swedish,
it's just
yes, I'm happy to be in Norway.
You pitch it a little bit more happier in a way.
Yeah, a little bit up and down. Yeah. So that went very well, and I did good. And so I actually got the award in that theater. Yeah. And I thought, oh no, I'm going to get into acting a little bit more. And I did audition, but come on, it's so hard in Los Angeles. And at least as a singer, you can both act and sing. It's easier.
You're not dependent on the auditions in a way.
Exactly. You know that.
But I want to go back to touring in Japan, because you came to Los Angeles and you got an agent, and he arranged you went to tour in Japan.
Yeah. First I worked in one big club in Nagoya.
Yeah.
I managed to get myself fired there.
How did that happen?
Well,
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was actually very interesting because, being Swedish, being part of women's liberation, being in Japan was like a shock a little bit. I worked in a very nice big club, but you have these women sitting at the bar feeding the men and...
But that's what I meant, because you came from the southern part of Sweden. Trelleborg. You go to Miami, you go back, you go to Los Angeles, and then all of a sudden, wow, I'm in Japan singing at a hotel.
No, there was a club, but it was actually a bar.
But
one evening in that bar, there was a drunk guy at the bar who threw chips on because he hated Americans after the war, And my pianist said, don't do anything. And then later on, there was a dance. They had Philippine dancers with costumes. And she was crying in the and I said, what's going on? He said, this man has hit me. So then I got mad. I went to the manager and I said, if this man is here tomorrow, I'm not going to sing.
Yeah. Of
course, he was there. So I went next door. The owner comes and tells me, showtime. I said, no, I'm not. If he's mad, I compromised. I said, okay, he apologizes to me and promised to behave. Well, next day, my contract, I got a telegram saying contract is broken. I have to return to Tokyo immediately. So my agent there was not happy. He said, no, I have to send you back. Well, I was lucky because this American agent from LA had just arrived with some engineer. They were doing pipelines, singers, musicians, And the engineer asked, what are you doing here? Because they had a house there. I said, well, I'm a singer, but he's going to send me back. And then he heard my recordings, and he liked me. He said, don't worry. If they don't book you again, they're not getting any of my... He was Norwegian descent. He said, we Scandinavians, we stick together.
We stick together, yeah.
And then they booked me again. I was there 3 months more.
And then back to Los Angeles.
Back to Los Angeles. And then...
I need you to come closer.
Oh, sorry. And then I met a Polish filmmaker.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I got on my notes here with my eye, I got Poland.
Poland.
And that's a big question mark. Yeah, how did you, there's so many question marks.
So anyway, you open, you learn to be more open. And I met him through some friends, and he was there with a film from Poland with some famous director. He was a camera and light, whatever, Wojciech Fabianiak. And that's when I was an actress. So we started to be together, and he filmed me. So I have that on film. And then he said, you should come to Warsaw. He had to go back. You can do television, you can do concert, you can do albums. And then there was an earthquake. This was
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was the big earthquake in, was that 80 sometime?
Oh, I think I remember that,
yeah,
actually.
Big earthquake.
Yeah.
All those things. And my director of this play that I won an award was supposed to come when I was singing in a club, and he never came, and what happened? Then I found out he was murdered.
Oh, wow. That took a
Yeah,
turn.
But anyway, I was very shocked. And the earthquake, and Wojciech said, let's go. So I said, that's it, I'm leaving LA. It's just too tough here.
Yeah.
So then I went to Warsaw. And I did
an album in Warsaw?
And with a fantastic jazz musician, Zbigniew Namysłowski. So I did an album, I did 2 television shows, one with Brazilian music, recorded with the Warsaw Radio Orchestra. And I was acting in Warsaw. There was a very interesting ambassador in Warsaw then. He was very open and very left. And
a Swedish ambassador?
Swedish ambassador.
Okay.
So I acted a play called The Stronger, a Strindberg play in English.
Oh, okay.
In the big theater in Warsaw, in the experimental theater. And you don't know that play?
No, I don't know that play.
Stronger. The Stronger, it's 2 women.
Den starka.
Den starka. The 2 women meet in a cafe, and one doesn't say a word, and that the Polish actress did that. She didn't, and I spoke all the time.
Oh, wow.
It's a very interesting play. Anyway, I did that.
But if I should follow you here in all that you do, it's like this is happening, and then you're in Poland, and you're recording an album.
Yes.
And you're in a play in Warsaw.
Yes.
Acting on Strindberg, which is one of our most famous Swedish authors.
I know.
Of all time, I would say. Strindberg is one of the best.
I felt very honored, actually.
And that's just, it's like a puzzle that all the pieces are moving all the time.
I know.
It's hard to keep up.
I understand.
But I love it.
Do?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm just trying to keep up.
I understand.
And why did you leave Poland then? Because we're here.
Yeah, now we are here.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, to learn Polish, it's like very difficult. This was before, it was at the break, but you couldn't make any money. I mean, Zloty it was a closed country. And my relationship, wasn't something that I wanted to be married to or stay in Poland, etc. So after all my record, I got my record, this, and that, I was back in Malmö.
Ah.
Yeah.
So like a...
Yeah, landing.
Landing in Malmö.
But I realized I cannot stay here.
No. Again. So this is the third time.
Third time. And my parents were home again. And I had been to Germany. And so somehow I was there on a visit. I also have a spiritual big part of my life as a so that's why I was in Germany. And I was there, and they say, come, move to Köln. We're going to open up this and that. So I decided, okay, I'm leaving. I'm moving to Köln.
Did you play music in Köln, or did you do?
Yeah, no. I came there because I got a job, a gig. Now, here comes an interesting story. I met in Cologne one Christmas. I was singing somewhere in a piano bar, and there was a man who said, "Oh, you should come tomorrow to Düsseldorf. I have a very good piano player, composer from Belgrade, visiting." Okay, so he gave me the note, and I wrote it down, name and address. But I never went, but I always found it. And I said, it's still here. Next year, the same time, I go back to the same place. And there is the same man, but he had two other with him. One with big curly hair, looking in the distance, and I felt immediate connection with him.
Oh, yeah.
That's Nenad Mandic. He is my songwriting partner for
all the things you've
years.
done since that.
Many years, yeah.
I read about him on your bio, yeah.
And so it's amazing how I met him, boom, boom. And he invited me to Belgrade. I came, I even did television thing there with some bass player. And then I went back, and he said then there's going to be a war here, Balkan War. I feel it, he's sensitive. And so I went back because I had some gigs. Suddenly he calls me one evening, he said, I'm leaving, I'm coming. He took a bag, guitar, and left. And 1 week later they closed the borders.
Oh, yeah.
They came to his house and said, where is Mr. Mandic? Has to go to the army. But
he was already gone.
He was gone.
He was with you in Köln.
Yeah, he was with me in Köln.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a very strong connection, you can imagine.
Are you still working together?
Yeah, I was just talking to him yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he is a wonderful songwriter, composer. He actually won Eurovision Song Contest for his country.
But that's...
He won that, but that was before the war started.
Yeah.
And then started all the fighting. You know. So he won for his country. He wrote that song in 5 minutes. I mean...
But that's how good songs are written.
Yes,
like
exactly.
That.
Bang.
Because they're not yours. Remember that.
They are not
They're
ours.
just passing through.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know. That's how I see it. When you get a creative input like that, and you start thinking that it's yours, that's when you ruin it. You just have to follow it.
Yes.
Okay? And not judge it.
Not judge it, just
okay,
do
this
it.
is how it is. This is the story. This is whatever it is. And then out of it. That's how I see it that way.
Yes.
But now we're back.
So I ended up... And I
is there more to this labyrinth?
No. Yes.
We're in Poland here now.
No. We're in Germany.
Now we're in Germany. Yeah, we're in Germany.
I left Poland, and there I am in Germany. But before I met Nenad, there was a whole year I was in Köln, and I was thinking, I cannot live in Germany. This is too serious for me here. I cannot stand it.
That's your wake-up call in everything that you fall back to that, and then you see it that you didn't like it, and then you move on.
Yeah.
Can you see that pattern? That at least what you're telling me.
Of course, I try. But then I thought, no. I even sent my suitcase back. My poor parents had to pick it up because I said, no, I'm going to go back to America. Yeah. At least America is freedom, open, friendly. I didn't want to go back to Sweden. Poor Sweden.
Poor Sweden.
Poor Sweden. But then I met somebody, romance also helps to keep you. He said, no, don't leave yet. I know you can rent there, you can stay there. So I ended up staying, and then I met Nenad, and I lived there for 10 years almost in Germany.
In Germany.
And we were very successful as a duo. We wrote songs, we recorded an album, we worked, we made good money, but it was hard. We worked in big hotels, contracts, 8
lot of gigs.
Every night. And
maybe 2 shows per night even.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
And then one day I went to my meditation center because part of my life. And somebody said, the mystery school has opened in Sedona. I heard
mystery school?
The mystery school, meditation school.
Okay.
I heard it from behind. I said, Sedona? Mystery school? Wow. I just felt like it was just calling me. And I said, I think I'm going to go in the summer, go back to America and go to Sedona. And that's how I ended
the mystery school. When was this? How long have you been here now?
That was 1995. But I still was going back.
Did you go to the mystery school?
Yeah, I went there. Yeah,
and that was like a meditation center? Or?
I came here to Sedona, and I was just wow, what is this place? I was,
Yeah, but you get blown away when you come. It's absolutely beautiful here. Absolutely.
You get blown away.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And friendly people and fresh. Boom. So I was in this school, mystery school. It's meditation groups and everything. And I went back to Germany. I worked all the money I made. I came back, and then I decided, I think I'm moving, and I moved here in 2001.
Wow. And
then
and then
and then I went to Moscow. No, I'm kidding.
You've been here since. No. So that ends. This my doodling here is going to end now.
But
we're ending in Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah, but then I started to sing here. I thought, I'm going to go and become a good meditator. Well, it didn't take long until I was starting to sing again, because that's my passion.
And you released an album quite recently.
And but that's back in Copenhagen.
Oh, you recorded it there?
Yes.
Love Has No Rules.
Love Has No Rules with Nenad Mandic. That's his composition and my lyrics in French and English. But before that, I met John, my husband, here. And all the Swedish people I knew were always going to Sweden in the summer. And I said, why they all go to Sweden? Why can't I? So we started to go to Sweden in the summer. And then I started to sing there. So I've done a lot of music and sang at the festivals.
So in a way you sort of made, what do you say that?
Made peace.
Made peace with Sweden.
Yeah.
Is that?
Because I'm a different person.
Yeah, of course.
And Malmö is a different city.
Yeah, but also with the distance and with the time, you sort of...
Yes.
You see things differently.
Very differently.
Get another perspective also. And look at this page here. I mean, you tried all the things that you wanted to try.
Yes.
There's not many people who can say that.
I guess not.
No, but that, to just
I mean,
go on
I
that
was
hunch.
brave. I think I was very brave.
I would say so.
The first time.
I think you're very brave, because just following your passion like that, especially when you started that young. You went to Paris at 18.
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
That's not an easy task. It looks easy on paper, but I know it's not.
And
easy.
I've been back to Paris, and I've sang in Paris now 5, 6. I went back to Paris when my husband turned 60, and I said, let's go to Paris. And I ended up sitting in a jazz club, and I got hired.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I was there 5, 6 years, and I sang at the Swedish club in Paris, Cercle Suédois.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But now we're here in Sedona. We're here in Arizona, in a beautiful town, and I got a map on the table. I think you've seen it. That is fine.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I would say that we're somewhere around here.
Yes, Arizona.
You got
I need my
Dallas.
glasses. Yeah, don't ask me too much about, because I haven't.
No, I'm not
traveled,
going to ask you too much.
so
There's one simple question that's coming up for you now. So here we have United States.
Yes.
Arizona is somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here, bordering to California, to New Mexico, to
So somewhere around here, and you are born in the southern part of Sweden, Trelleborg. Not far from Malmö.
No, half an hour.
Where is home?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Home is...
And I need you to use the microphone.
Okay.
So
where is my home? Yes.
I want you to write your signature on the map close to... It's getting tight, but somewhere.
Okay.
We can draw a line also.
It's hard. Home is where my heart is. I mean, my heart is in many places.
Okay, but now?
Right now, I'm
when
here.
We're talking now, where is home?
Home is right here now.
Okay. Can you pinpoint? You can draw a line out from there, because it's...
We are here.
Yeah, we're here somewhere.
Are we here somewhere? Yeah. Shall I go out here?
Whatever you want.
There?
Yeah.
And what do I write? My name?
A signature.
Ingrid. Vismaya is kind of a spiritual name that I have been singing under, but it's a Sanskrit name.
Oh.
And then when internet came, I disappeared with 10,000 other.
Of course, of course.
So Nenad, my songwriting partner, and John, my husband, says, go back to Ingrid Hagelberg, Swedish jazz singer.
But I'm not done here.
You're not done?
No.
Okay. What are we doing?
The name of this podcast is Letters from America.
Okay.
And this is home for you.
Yes.
If you were to write a letter from here to where you came.
Yes.
A short letter.
A short letter. Yeah, okay.
Knowing you, I need to point out it needs to be short.
Okay.
What would you want to say?
What would I want to say?
Today,
I want to say, I want to thank my parents.
Good start.
Yes, I want to thank my parents because they were incredibly supportive of me once I started to decide that
this is what you want.
Yeah.
This is your...
Yes. And I also want to thank Sweden because Sweden is a wonderful country.
It is.
In many, many ways. Yeah. And I have loved to go to Sweden every summer. Yeah. And I love the traditions and the Swedish culture and the art. So the
music.
And the music. So I'm very also Swedish. I think I listen every morning to Swedish news, actually.
Oh, you really?
You know why? Because I hate commercials.
Ah, yeah.
And
So you got like national radio in Sweden is without commercials.
I mean, you have PBS in America, and that's good. There's no commercials, but at least so I keep myself informed.
If we go back to the letter, thank you.
Thank you.
Parents. Thank you, Sweden.
Thank you, Sweden. And thank you for all the support, all the people that I have met on my path that made me what I am today.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, including my husband, John, who's very supportive. But everybody, I mean, I feel very grateful and very blessed.
Well, I'm very grateful to have you, and thank you, Ingrid, for joining me in my trailer for this conversation. It has been lovely talking to you, and I cannot but wish you all the best, everything. And yes, thank you. You're a great inspiration.
Oh,
I really
thank you. And I want to wish you, I think you're incredible what you are doing. It's very fascinating.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
it's been
Martin.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
You have listened to Letters from America, a weekly road trip podcast celebrating the Swedish heritage in the United States. Produced in collaboration with the Embassy of Sweden in Washington, D.C., Volvo Cars USA, Volvo Trucks USA, and Airstream.